In the heart of New York City, among the glittering skyscrapers and bustling streets, there was one of the most successful companies in the country, EcoTech. This company, which specialized in the development of environmentally friendly technologies, quickly gained a reputation as a leader in its field. Its owner, Emily Richardson, was known only by rumors. No one knew what she looked like, and this added to the mystery of her personality. Emily was a woman who built her empire from scratch, starting with a small startup and gradually turning it into a multi-million-dollar business. She always remained in the shadows, preferring to let her achievements speak for themselves. Emily understood that the success of a company depended not only on its strategy, but also on the people who worked there. She often thought about how important it was to create a healthy corporate culture where every employee felt valued and respected. However, despite all her efforts, she began to notice that the atmosphere in the office had changed recently. Employees became less interested in their work, and some even began to show disrespect for each other. Emily decided it was time to conduct an experiment to understand what was really going on. One day, while sitting in her luxurious top-floor office, Emily came up with a solution. On the first day of the new quarter, she would come to work disguised as a cleaner. It was a risky move, but she was sure it would help her see the true face of her company. Emily prepared carefully for this experiment. She chose a simple uniform that hid her true identity: dark pants, a white shirt, and a cap. She also purchased a mask to cover her face and took a bucket and a mop with her. In the morning, when the city was just starting to wake up, Emily left her house and headed to the office. She felt nervous, but at the same time, she was determined. As she entered the building, she noticed how employees were busy with their own affairs, casting puzzled glances at her, but no one showed much interest. Emily began by cleaning the hallway, listening to the conversations that were going on around her. She tried to remain inconspicuous, but at the same time, she carefully observed the behavior of her employees. At first, everything was calm. People discussed projects, shared news, and laughed. However, Emily soon noticed that some employees were starting to show disrespect. One of the managers, passing by, said to her, "Hey, cleaning lady, don't bother us, we have important things to do." Emily felt anger boiling inside her, but she held back. It was only the first day, and she wanted to see how far this disrespect would go. The situation grew more tense with each passing hour. Emily observed how some employees, instead of working, gathered in groups and discussed their personal matters, not paying attention to their duties. One of them, a young analyst named Jason, laughed loudly at the jokes of his colleagues, without mincing words. "That cleaning lady doesn't seem to understand what's going on here," he said, and everyone laughed. Emily felt her patience wearing thin. She knew that this was not just disrespectful to her, but also to the work they were doing. At that moment, Emily realized that her experiment wasn't just a test of her employees, but an opportunity to uncover deeper problems in her company's culture. She decided it was time to take action. At the end of the workday, as the office began to empty, Emily gathered all her strength and headed to the conference room where the senior managers were gathering. She knew that this move could change not only her perception of her employees, but also their attitudes toward work and toward each other. Emily was ready to open the eyes of her employees to the importance of respect and teamwork. As Emily removed her mask and cap, the conference room fell silent. The employees who had been laughing and chatting about their business moments before now looked at her with confusion and fear. They couldn't believe that standing in front of them was the owner of a company they had only heard of but never met. Emily felt a surge of excitement, but she knew this was a key moment. She had to convey to her employees the importance of respect and teamwork. "I came here not as your owner, but as your cleaner, to understand how you treat your work and each other," she began, trying to sound confident. "What I saw today was disappointing. Not only do you not respect me, but you do not respect your work or your coworkers." Emily paused, letting her words sink in. She saw some of them look down, while others exchanged guilty glances. "I know we have ambitious goals and targets, but that doesn't justify neglecting those around you. Each of you is an important part of this company, and how you approach your work and each other determines our collective success," she continued, trying to get her point across. Emily knew she had to inspire as well as talk. She wanted employees to understand that their actions have consequences and that respect is the foundation of a healthy corporate culture. Some of the employees started whispering, and Emily noticed that there was a sense of confusion among them. She decided that now was the time to ask them questions so that they could express their thoughts and feelings. "Why do you think the atmosphere in our office has changed? What can we do to bring back respect and team spirit?" she asked, looking at her subordinates. At first, no one spoke up, but soon one of the managers who had previously been disrespectful raised his hand. "I think we are too focused on results and forget about the importance of working together. Sometimes we forget that there are people behind every project," he said, and there were murmurs of approval from the room. Emily felt that this was the beginning of a change. Other employees began to speak up, sharing their thoughts on how the office environment could be improved. They talked about the need for open communication, the importance of supporting each other, and sharing successes. Emily listened attentively, realizing that they were beginning to understand the importance of respect and teamwork. "I want us to work together to create a new culture of respect and support," Emily said, feeling hope well up in her. "Let's start small. I suggest having regular meetings where we discuss not just work-related issues, but how we can support each other. I want each of you to feel heard and valued." The employees began to actively discuss ideas, and the atmosphere in the room gradually changed. Emily saw their faces fill with enthusiasm, and it gave her strength. She knew that this moment could be a turning point in their relationship and in the company's corporate culture. At the end of the meeting, Emily thanked everyone for their openness and willingness to change. "I believe that together we can create an environment where everyone feels comfortable and confident. Let's work to make respect the foundation of our work," she concluded. As the employees began to leave the conference room, Emily felt like she had taken the first step toward rebuilding trust and respect within the team. She knew there was still work to do, but she now had hope. Hope that EcoTech could become not only a successful company, but a place where every employee felt valued and respected. Emily left the conference room feeling satisfied, but also aware that there was still work to be done. She knew that change would not happen overnight and that it would take time to rebuild trust and respect within the team. The next day, she decided to continue the dialogue and hold an informal meeting with the team to discuss the ideas that had emerged from the previous meeting. Emily invited all the employees to a coffee break where they could freely chat and share their thoughts. She had prepared a few questions to guide the conversation, but mostly she wanted the employees to feel at ease. Once everyone was there, the atmosphere was much more relaxed. People were smiling, exchanging jokes, and discussing their ideas. Emily felt like it was the right move. She opened the meeting by thanking everyone for their participation and openness. "I want us to continue this dialogue. What ideas do you have for improving our corporate culture?" she asked. Employees began to share their thoughts. Someone suggested organizing regular team-building events to strengthen the bonds between colleagues. Others talked about the need for an anonymous suggestion box so that everyone could voice their ideas without fear of ridicule. Emily listened attentively, realizing that they were beginning to understand the importance of respect and teamwork. She encouraged their ideas and suggested creating a working group to develop new initiatives. "Let's make sure that each of you is part of this change. I want you to feel that your work and your ideas matter," she said, and there were nods of approval from the room. With each new suggestion, Emily felt the atmosphere in the room become more positive. She realized that this was not just talk, but the beginning of real change. Soon, one of the employees suggested organizing team events to strengthen the bonds between colleagues. Another added that it was important to create a space for exchanging ideas and suggestions, where everyone could express their opinions without fear of being ridiculed. Emily supported these ideas and proposed creating a working group to develop new initiatives. She understood that it was important not only to talk about change but also to actively involve employees in the process. "Let's make sure that each of you is a part of this change. I want you to feel that your work and your ideas matter," she said, and there were nods of approval in the room. At the end of the meeting, Emily thanked everyone for their openness and willingness to change. "I believe that together we can create an environment where everyone feels comfortable and confident. Let's work to make respect the foundation of our work," she concluded. Emily left the conference room feeling satisfied. She knew there was still work to do, but now she had hope. Over the next few weeks, Emily worked closely with the team to implement the ideas that were proposed in the meetings. The working group created to develop new initiatives began holding regular meetings to discuss various aspects of the company culture. Employees began to feel more involved in the process, and this had a positive effect on the atmosphere in the office. Emily also initiated team-building events that helped strengthen the bonds between colleagues. These events allowed employees to not only work together, but also to get to know each other better in an informal setting. This helped create a friendlier and more supportive environment. Over time, Emily noticed that her employees were becoming more open and responsive. They began sharing their ideas and suggestions, which created a sense of unity within the team. Emily realized that respect and support were the foundation of their interactions, which was exactly what she wanted to achieve. However, not everything was going smoothly. Some employees were still dissatisfied and resistant to the changes. Emily knew that she had to work with them too, to convince them of the importance of the new corporate culture. She decided to hold one-on-one meetings with those who expressed doubts to understand their point of view and help them overcome their concerns. Emily approached each conversation with an open heart and a willingness to listen. She asked questions about what was bothering them and tried to offer solutions that might help. One day, she met with a senior employee who was particularly skeptical. He expressed his concerns about how change might hurt productivity. Emily listened and then explained how respect and support could actually improve performance. She gave examples of successful companies that had succeeded because of a healthy corporate culture. After a few of these meetings, Emily noticed that even the most stubborn employees began to change. They became more open to discussing ideas and suggestions, and this created an atmosphere of trust. Emily understood that this was not just a change in corporate culture, but a real transformation in the minds of employees. Emily soon decided to organize a big company party to celebrate the team's achievements and strengthen new connections. She invited all employees, their families, and even some former colleagues. The party was a great opportunity for everyone to socialize in an informal setting, share successes, and just have fun. At the celebration, Emily gave a speech in which she thanked everyone for their efforts and contribution to creating a new corporate culture. She emphasized that each of them played an important role in this process. "We have all created something special together, and I am proud to work with you," she said, and the room filled with applause. After the party, Emily noticed that the atmosphere in the office became even more positive. Employees began to actively share their successes and support each other. They became more responsive and willing to help colleagues, which contributed to the creation of a close-knit team. Emily understood that working on corporate culture was an ongoing process. She continued to hold regular meetings where employees could share their thoughts and suggestions. Emily also initiated training for managers so that they could better understand how to maintain respect and team spirit in their teams. Over time, EcoTech became not only a successful company, but also a place where every employee felt valued and respected. Emily was proud that she had been able to change the atmosphere in the office and create a culture based on respect and support. She knew there was still a lot of work ahead, but she now had confidence that change was possible if people were willing to open up and work on themselves. Eventually, Emily realized that the company's success depended not only on the results, but also on how the employees treated each other. She was sure that with such a team, EcoTech could achieve any heights.